of the many, many problems of having someone as stupid as Donald Trump as president of the United States is that along with the presidency comes immense power. He is singularly 1/3 of the United States government. He is a co-equal branch of government with the judiciary and the Congress. Both houses of Congress share that co-equal branch. And so yesterday when Donald Trump was in the Oval Office being interviewed by the press and he's rambling on about invading LA, Los Angeles, the president invading a city within one of the states in our union. But he also went on this jag about wanting to annex Canada, continuing on this nonsense about making one of our oldest, most loyal allies, Canada, one of the states in our union. It blows my mind that Republicans can go along with this nonsense. But he said something about as stupid as any human being who has progressed beyond 3rd or 4th grade has said, especially for a president. Talking about the artificial lines. He's speaking of borders. Anyway, let me play the clip for you. Buckle up, and then we'll talk about artificial lines, aka borders.
And to be honest with you, Canada only works as a state. It doesn't. We don't need anything they have. As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. This would be the most incredible country visually. If you look at a map, they drew an artificial line right through it between Canada and the U.S., just a straight artificial line. Somebody did it a long time ago, many, many decades ago, and makes no sense. It's so perfect as a great and cherished state. Keeping O Canada, the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it. But it'll be for the state, one of our greatest states, maybe our greatest state.
Now, to a Republican, this is owning the Canada, the nation, to own the libs, or I don't know. Is he trolling? I don't think so. One thing he is doing is displaying his ignorance and just abject stupidity. It's not just like mildly uninformed about how borders come together and what treaties come together to make a certain parallel. Largely, that's what the border is. It's not an arbitrary line. It's not an artificial line. But let's go through some early maps that I got from the Library of Congress. Here, this is just the tribes of the different indigenous peoples who lived here before white people came. There are no lines there. It's everything, right? Here's early grants. Oddly enough, Virginia, the grant in 1609, it's all of the coast, and it's just this line that goes along the parallel and then goes all the way west. That was Virginia. So the lines, artificial lines that exist now for the state of Virginia, which there was not even a West Virginia then in 1609, oddly enough, those lines came about. Are we ready to just jettison those lines, those borders? Is that the deal? Because so many decades ago, huh? Not centuries ago, Donald Trump. Here's another one, the grants and development of the New England colonies. Massachusetts seems similar, but then you've got claimed by Connecticut across, that would have been Pennsylvania. How strange. The Connecticut grant also just juts out west. The Massachusetts Bay grant. Oddly enough, borders Lake Ontario. Here's grants and developments of the Middle Atlantic colonies. You'll see New York, New Jersey here, but earlier on the left-hand side, grant to the Duke of New York, and it goes all the way down into and includes the state of what is now New Jersey. Artificial lines. Pennsylvania grant, Penn's grant, goes all the way west. Virginia, no West Virginia, not a thing yet. Artificial lines. the 13 original colonies in 1774, this particular map, East Florida and West Florida. They just called this Indian country. The province of Quebec in 1774, far south into Illinois and Indiana and Wisconsin. This is the absolute detriment of having a fucking moron as president of the United States. And then after the results of the Revolutionary War, the 1783, the United States and then Spanish possessions and Oregon country, and that went up into Canada. Maybe Canada has a claim to claw back Washington and Oregon and a piece of Idaho because it was once included within their border. What do you say to that? And then Western Land Claims Territorial Organization, 1783 to 1812. I'll just leave this up and you can take a look at how that turned out, how that became what it became with the artificial lines. Canada, one, doesn't want to be the 51st state in the Union. It is disrespectful. It is a disorganized mind that comes up with this nonsense. And it is an absolute slap in the face to one of our earliest and most important allies, Canada. An economic trading partner that Donald Trump is just, if we're talking about artificial and arbitrary, he's arbitrarily attacking someone that has now actually decided, other countries like China, they're like, well, we're not going to get our beef from the United States anymore. We're going to go to Canada and Brazil, leaving American ranchers and farmers in the lurch. Where are they going to sell that? This is what the danger is with having a moron like Donald Trump. And Republicans, because they're in a cult, and no matter what he says, no matter how insane, no matter how addled, no matter how demented or senile the words that fall out of his stupid face are, they're going to bow down, bend the knee, kiss the ring, and go with what he says. Because they don't care about the damage. They don't care about the international norms. They don't care about what's best for our country. They certainly don't care about what's best for Canada. This is not going to happen. Short of an actual military invasion, this isn't going to happen. No, we're not going to get Canada. We don't want Canada as a state. We want them as an international ally. That's what we want. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can comment below. That's always great. It will tell the algorithm to share this content with new viewers who watch the same things as you do. There are people out there who, that's how the algorithm works. It's not delivering content to people they think are going to like it. It's the audience telling the algorithm what they should watch. Now, I'm really in the weeds about stuff I really don't quite understand. So you can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work. You can click the join button below, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month right here on YouTube. I know I point there. It's somewhere over here. You can also go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Both are great ways to help support this work. I would appreciate it very much. And I'm going to go. Follow me on social media. If you're there having a miserable time on social media, really a detriment to your life and well-being. But if you're there, I'm there too, having just as equally a miserable time. And you can follow me at Dollemore. I'd love to see you. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.